Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is sort of a follow-up to the last video I did that involved Chunky and Voxy. I got a lot of great comments and a lot of suggestions, and I realized that between sort of me just sort of jumbling my words and not speaking well, I gave a lot of poor information to you guys, and also I didn't really give you guys the best version of Photon shaders to use with Voxy. And so I'm going to do that this time, so let's jump right into the video. Alright folks, so here we are in the Modrinth app. This is the launcher I like to use for Minecraft, but I imagine you could use, whatever launcher you want. And let's make a new instance. So we're starting from scratch and we're going to call it Chunky X Voxy X Photon. And hopefully we do this better than we did last time. I'm sorry about the last video. It just, like I said, this is sort of a mediocre how-to or tutorial, but let's get to it. All right, so we're going to do game version 1.21.10, and this is going to be a stable release, and we're going to use Fabric for our loader. So we're going to create that. Modrinth's just going to take a second, and then sure enough, right up here, we have our new instance. Let's start adding some mods to it. First mod we're going to add is Voxy. It's in the title of the video, so we should probably add it to our instance. We'll install it just like so, and now it's installed. Next mod we're going to need is Iris for Iris shaders. Otherwise, we won't be able to use any shaders as far as I know. So we're going to again install it on our new instance, and that is done as well. The one last mod we need is Chunky, and Chunky is going to pre-generate chunks for us. So we are going to add again to our new instance, and voila, all done. So if we take a look now at our instance and the sort of files associated with it, you'll see we have Chunky, we have the Iris shaders, and we have Voxy, and then Modrinth the Modrinth app has installed Sodium and Fabric API for us because those are going to be necessary for everything else we're using. Lastly, we need to get our shaders. Now, you can go to shaders and type in Photon, and sure enough, you'll see Photon shaders. However, there are some graphic issues when using these with Voxy. However, there's a fork available on GitHub that will allow you to sort of get the full experience. So let's go to that fork and I'll show you how to download it. Now this is the GitHub page for Photon shaders. You can see right up here. And what we want to do is we want to go to this little box right here, which provides the forks or the trees. And you'll see there's Iris stable, Iris unstable, legacy, and lastly, Voxy support. So we're going to click on Voxy support, takes us to a new page here. And what we want to do is go up to this green code box and we are going to download zip. Now, I'm not going to click it because if I do, it's going to show you the awful file structure I have set up on my computer. It's just a little embarrassing. I'm just not very good with organization. But once you download it, it'll appear in your downloads folder. And what you want to do is just drop it into the profile folder for the instance we just made. So let me show you how to do that. So this is the folder that the shaders were downloaded to. You can see Photon and it explicitly says Voxy support. So we're going to do a Control-C on that and copy it. We're going to go over to our profiles folder under the Modrinth app, and we're going to go to Chunky X Voxy X Photon. That's our new instance. And we'll go to shader packs and just Control-V and drop them right in there. Simple as that. Now you'll see if we go back to our Modrinth app, now Photon Voxy support zip is actually showing in our files section for this particular instance. So I think we have everything we need. Let's head into Minecraft and see if we can get cooking. All right, so here we are in our new Minecraft instance. I did take a moment to change the GUI scaling and also turn down the volume because honestly, I haven't heard the volume that loud in Minecraft since the last time I installed it, which was quite a while ago. But let's go to single player. And we are going to call this world. We called it something pretty cheeky and lame last time. Let's just call it. Let's call it Hello World. I like that little call out to the
early program, or everyone's early programming days. I'm going to start off with a creative world, and you don't have to. You can start off with a survival world, but whenever I use Chunky, I start off with a creative world, just to kind of get our chunks, pre-generated. For our seed, what should we call it? Let's call it These Devs Are Awesome. And I'm actually going to copy that just so we have it for later. But I want to call it that because I do appreciate the devs who work on these projects. It's what they do is absolutely amazing, and a lot of it is thankless. I mean, people love them, but I imagine the quantity of people who actually thank them versus the quantity of people who use the mods and the shaders is probably fairly low. So I just want to give them a shout out. They're awesome. They create these things that we get to use for free, and I really appreciate it. If you do use any of these and you have the means to do so, in the video's description I am going to provide links where you can donate to these folks because they are absolutely deserving. With that said, let's create our new world. All right, so we've loaded up. We have what appears to be a typical Minecraft world, I would say. Yeah. Yeah. I'd say this looks pretty typical. You can see we're only rendering a couple chunks worth of space here, which is fine. No big deal. First thing I want to do is change our render distance to, let's see, where are we going to go here? We go to options, video settings, and we're going to change our render distance all the way up to 32. Just want to show what the maximum Minecraft can do without any mods or anything else going on. This is just sort of if you installed the vanilla version of the game, never did anything else, this is what you would see, I believe. Hey, Dark Oak Forest. That would be handy on a brand new seed. We're gonna let this load for a second. We don't need to wait for it to load completely, but just want to give you an idea of what, of how much sort of, in the distance we'd be seeing here. All right, so I do believe that this has loaded fully. I'm gonna move up just a little bit, but you can see the borders all around us. We're rendering enough, but it's obviously not what you came to this video for. So the first thing we're gonna do is run some Chunky commands. Now, it is possible to run these commands all as one line here in the chat or in the terminal, I like to call it. You can run this all as one line, and people point that out to me, but I'm doing it one at a time just so people who are new to this can sort of see what we're doing. So if you start typing Chunky, you can hit tab to autocomplete, and it'll give you suggestions. We're going to do Chunky, shape, and then we're going to do circle. I just feel like that makes the most sense, so we're getting an equidistant radius, I guess, all around us. So we're going to set our shape to circle. Next we're going to do Chunky again, tab out, and we're going to do radius. Now here's something I screwed up majorly last time, and I do apologize for it. Last time I put in, I think like 512 or something, and I said that was 512 chunks. That is not the case. This would be 512 blocks. If you want to do 512 chunks, you can just add a C after our number, and that will tell it that you want to do this in chunks. And so that's what I'm going to do this time. We've changed our radius to 8,192, which apparently is 512 chunks. I imagine if you multiply 512 by 16, that's what you would get. I hope. I'm not going to do it, but I imagine that's what the case. Lastly, we're going to do Chunky, tab out, and start. And this is actually going to start the pre-generation process. Now, this is going to take quite a while. You might want to do it overnight depending on your system, but I'm just going to run it and I'll speed it up for you guys in post-production. Now, the reason why I do this in a creative world is so that I can pre-generate these chunks without any interaction with my actual survival world. If I'm starting a new one, the days won't be reset, or, you won't spend a bunch of days doing it. Your days will be accurate and whatnot. I'm not really sure how important it is, but it's just how I've always done it. So we're going to hit Chunky start, and it's going to give us a bar at the top of the screen that tells us how much it is loaded. I'm obviously not going to make you guys sit through this whole thing because it's going to take, it looks like, a little over an hour, which is fine. I got time. it's a lot of chunks. If you don't want to load this much, it's fine. You could do like, 64 chunks, 132 chunks, whatever number works for you. But you can see in the background right now, they're already starting to load around me. Let's see if we can turn and see. Yeah, you can already see a bunch of chunks have loaded, and don't worry about the black area behind. That will be taken care of in the future. So I'm going to come back once this is done loading, and we'll continue on with the tutorial. And after what was about, I think it was about 2 hours for my computer, we have pre-generated all of our chunks. I'm running a Intel i7 14th generation CPU, desktop CPU. I have a NVIDIA RTX 5060 Ti. So, I guess, I don't know, it's like sort of a mid-range system these days, I guess. Low end, I don't know, whatever. Anyways, that's what I'm running, and that's about how long it took. So let's exit out of this world. It's going to take a while to save because it's obviously a very large world at this point. Actually, we'll go in and I'll show you just how large it really is. So just to demonstrate how big the save is after loading all those, or after pre-generating all those chunks, the folder for our sort of test case is about 20 gigabytes in size. So just be wary of that if you're on a system with a smaller hard drive or, what have you. It's just something to be aware of. All right, so we are back at the splash screen. We're going to go to single player. We're going to create a survival world. We'll call this survival world really, really cool because that's what these mods allow us to experience. Really, really cool Minecraft. I'm going to change difficulty to hard out of muscle memory, honestly. For world, we're going to Control V and paste our original seed in, and we are going to create new world. And we're going to do a couple things here. The first thing we're going to do is I'm going to enable cheats. There might be other ways to do this, but the way I do it is usually just doing that. That's going to allow us to go into spectator mode, which should allow us to move a little bit more quickly. We're going to rise up into the air like this, get real high up. Now that we're up here, what we're going to do is we're going to run a command for Voxy. So it's going to be Voxy import. And we're going to go down to world, and then we're going to choose the hello world. That's our original world where we already loaded the chunks. So we're basically importing those chunks into this world, which just happens to be the same seed. So let's press enter and see what happens. And immediately you see up top that Voxy gives us another progress bar, and you see chunks starting to load all around us. Yeah. And it's going to take a little while. These are a lot of chunks. And again, I'd call my system sort of mid, maybe slightly better than mid. So my guess is it'll take about, 2-3 minutes, maybe a little bit more than 3 minutes, but it'll be somewhere in that range, I think. And just like that, Voxy has imported all that data. It took 159 seconds, so between 2 and 3 minutes, pretty close to 3 minutes. I mean, you can see that we have chunks loaded as far as the eye can see. I think the next step is to turn on our shaders. So let's go to options. We're going to go to video settings. We're going to go to shader packs, and we are going to choose our Photon Voxy support zip and hit apply. This is going to turn shaders on, and fairly quickly you will see that we have a beautiful, beautiful map in front of us. So let's do this. Let's do creative for a second. So we're going to go back down to Earth, and I want to give myself an elytra, and let's just do a quick little flight here. I'm not going to do a lot, just a real quick one, just so I can show y'all how cool this world looks. I'm not going to fly around forever like a bunch of those other YouTube videos do, but we'll do a little bit of flying here just to give you a taste. And you can see I can pretty much spam rockets, and there is no issue as far as loading, no no graphic issues, no stuttering. I mean, really, it's pretty perfect. Let me hit F3. Ooh, there's a little bit right there, but not too much. Oh, I think that's just the vapor from the rockets. Let me hit F3, and you can see, again, I'm at 110 frames per second, give or take. We're hanging out pretty much right there. So, you know, it'll depend on, you know, what kind of system you have, but man, this is just, I mean, it is just awesome. It looks so cool. And what you can do is, if you don't want to see, you will see like the LODs change, you know, things get loaded in and whatnot, you know, just a little bit. And what you can do, you know, you can certainly mess around, you know, with your, you can mess around with your video settings, you know, bring this up to 24 chunks maybe, just so it's not quite as noticeable. We'll hit F3 again. We're still getting about 100 frames per second, and I can still spam rockets essentially, and it's just breathtaking. So guys, I think that's going to be it for the video. I do thank you for watching. I'm sorry the first video wasn't sort of as complete, and there was a lot of sort of misinformation I gave out. I think it was still useful because a lot of people still, you know, sort of got started using it, but I definitely could have done better. I hope this one sort of solves some of those problems and, you know, gives you guys a better idea of, you know, what Voxy, Chunky, and this fork of Photon shaders can do, because it really, really is magnificent. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe if you're so willing, and y'all take care.